Welcome to an episode of Trying to Make It. Today I wanted to talk about paint booths, specifically my paint booth. I built this using spare parts that was laying around. It's stuff that my dad had just in stock, different little pieces of wood that I fitted together, and there's like 2x4s for the legs and some panel wood that I made for the casing part, and just a couple other pieces of scrap wood. And this actually came from some shipping crates that was just laying around, and you can even find those behind supermarkets or pretty much any other place. They're usually free. Nobody wants them because they feel that it's trash wood, but it's really usable and you can do a lot of stuff with it. As you see, you use the duct tape so that way you can seal off the cracks, so whenever you turn on your vacuum you can do your spray paint and it'll pull all of the smell out and you don't have to worry about it, and you can paint indoors. And that's the big benefit of having a paint booth, is having the ability to paint indoors. I actually used a bounce house pump to be able to pull the air out whenever I'm doing the spray painting, and it works perfect. The reason you have to have this is you don't want any type of spray paint that's going to pass over the engine, because when the motors gets hot you could possibly have a fire hazard, and you don't want that. So what ends up happening is the motor is over here on the side, and whenever the spray paint ends up getting pulled in right here through this hose, it'll go into this chamber and then it goes right out the side over here, and then it goes out your ventilation, and you don't have to worry about it, and it won't even touch the engine. So that's a good benefit. And right behind the filter is where it pulls all of the spray paint, so you don't have to even worry about it. It just pulls it straight up in there and takes it right outside, and you don't smell anything. It's really works well. To show you what I mean, I'll turn the motor on, and it's a little loud, but whenever you shoot the paint in, you can see from this angle, you can see the mist and see how it's just being pulled straight into the filter. And I'm standing a pretty good distance away right here whenever I'm spraying, and nothing's coming out of the chamber. It's all going straight into the filter. So you can be able to do anything you need, and you don't have to worry about it coming out into your workshop and causing you to have to breathe all of that. So let's say you're wanting to do something like this and you need to put a clear coat on it. All you have to do is just sit it in your workspace and then take some clear coat and just spray straight at it. And as you see, it goes on without any problem, and it pulls all of the excess paint straight into the back, and you don't have to worry about breathing it. And you can easily just grab it and flip it around, and then spray your other side. just like that, you're done. And all you have to do is wait for it to dry and you're finished. And you don't have to worry about anything outside bothering with stuff falling from the sky or the trees or dirt blowing up on it or any other problem with any elements. Okay, now let's say you have something like this. And you need to do a few touch-ups on it to be able to make it look better. You get your can and get it ready to go. And get your paint flowing. And you can just start shooting your paint on it. And as you see, all of the extra paint just got pulled straight into the vent, and you don't have it all over your shop still. So even in the most cramped up area, I have a pretty small workspace right here. You can still be able to set up a real nice paint booth and be able to do everything you need to do. And you might have to limit what you're painting at one time. Like if you're outside, you could be able to put 3 or 4 items down or even more and spray it. But you still have to worry about, is it raining, is it too cold, is it too hot, and whatever. And with a paint booth, you don't have to worry about any of that. You could just go ahead and, if it's too cold, set you up a heater a little bit away from you, so that way you've got it away from your paint, and you can be able to do all the stuff you need to do. If it's too hot out in your workshop, then you can turn your air conditioner on if you have one, or a fan, and you can work around any of that as long as you have one of these to be able to do it. And I would say probably the total cost, if I was to even have bought all of the stuff and didn't have it on hand, you probably would be able to have done it for about maybe $23, $24. It's really not that much of an expense at all. And as far as a motor goes, as long as you have one that has the pass-through on the outside, it really doesn't matter, as long as it's enough of an ability to pull the paint out. And like I said, this came from an old bounce house, and it works good enough. I've just put all the pieces on and duct taped it in, and used just different dryer vents and stuff like that to be able to funnel all of the sin out. And so it's not much to it. Even something like this temple for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, you can even do that within the paint booth without any problem. That's just different types of spray paint. It's a texture spray paint, and your vent will pull any of the fumes straight out of that too, and you won't have any problems. So if you have needs of being able to get your work done a little bit quicker and not have to worry about any of the elements or outside problems that spray painting sometimes brings, build yourself a paint booth. It's not really that hard. I did it, probably it took me maybe about 3 hours to put the whole thing together. And that's only because I was making sure that it didn't leak whenever I turned the motor on, and it made sure that it pulled all the paint out. And it just depends on how well you're building yours, and it should work without a problem. I'll put some links in the description for some of the things that I actually followed. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them that I actually liked. That some of them was, I think one was from Punish Props that I really liked, and that was one of the main ones I followed. But I'll set that up, and then you can be able to follow those and ask me any questions too if you need to. Just put it down in the comments and I'll answer. So thanks for watching Trying to Make It. Please like and subscribe and come back next time.